This is Karis.
Say it to the camera. Never knew.
She primarily serves the Chuukese youth living in Hawaii. The Chuukese people are one of Micronesia's largest people groups, and many have immigrated from Micronesia to the U.S. for a better education and job opportunities.
My name is Karis, and I am the youth director of First Christian Church of Honolulu. I was born and raised in Hong Kong, and I was very blessed to be born into a Christian family. When I was at an early age, God has put the mission heart inside me. I remember I was small and I reading a comic book about a missionary who went to Africa. I'm like, that's what I wanted to do. I want to bring the love of God to places that nobody wants to go. I want to serve people who are different from me. I want to learn new language, new culture. So that was my dream. Growing up, I feel like I was battling with a lot of anxieties and loneliness and just the weight of rejections, especially after my parents' divorce. For me to deal with that pain and not to think about the chaos at home is I would just go to the fantasy world. So I will watch a lot of movies, I read a lot of books, I like to make up stories and draw them out. That's how I cope with the stress, I think my pain inside. But I think at the end, I think that kind of paved my way to productions later. It kind of built my creativities inside. I actually had the chance to go to college in Hawaii. And when I first landed on the island, I was like, why God sent me to Hawaii? Like, why not Russia or like Africa? And I remember the first 2 weeks in dorm, I was keep reading the Bible, Isaiah 42, and talk about how the people give glory to God and they proclaim His praise in the islands. And whenever I read about it, my heart just burning, and I don't know why, but to me, that was the first time God really speak to me, like, wow, like the Bible is real and He can really speak to you.
After college, Karis still struggled with her self-esteem.
I was hired by a local production company that focusing to basically get Asian tourists to come to Hawaii. That's actually a long period of time. I was in depressions. My heart just carried too much unforgiveness. I just fall into that trap. I have so much hate towards myself that I cannot see anything and I see no way out. Finally, I talked to God. I said, you know what, God, if you are real, you need to show me. God showed me a church 3 blocks away from my home. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go on the website and check the church. And the first thing that popped up is Isaiah 42. It's the same verse that the people bring glory to God and proclaim His praise. I'm like, okay, that's changed. On Sunday, I go to the church. The moment I walk in, there's a huge banner, same verse. God telling me, this is a brand new door I prepared for you 10 years ago, and I want you to just walk into it. So that was the time that I really feel, wow, that's a changing moment for me. For many years, I was helping with church media, but then suddenly where more kids come, more and more kids come, and I'm like, they were all staying here with us. They have nothing to do. So I started to teach Sunday school. And then I'm like, we should have vacation Bible school. So when there was no kids at church, we started our first vacation Bible school. And we have 10 kids, but that was great.
My name is Manessa, and I'm part of the Chuukese community that attends this very church. So in 2016, I attended my first VBS. When I started high school, I decided to also help out with the youths because they would remind me of how I was so curious at their age. I really wanted to help them how Miss Karis helped me.
Later, I read a book by Pastor Roger. It's called Chasing God. His story is, as a Chinese, he was able to transform the whole Tandon city just by passing out 50 sandwiches and welcome refugees' children. So what his job is just to go visit the kids and play with them. So after reading that book, I'm like, I'm gonna chasing God myself. I just go to the neighborhood kids because I saw they always by themselves, like young kids walking on the street. So I just go to the house and say, hey, you wanna come to church? And there they all come.
Hi, my name is Avion and I am from Micronesia and the island of Chuuk. What we do there is we make skirts. In Chuukese it is called scato or uros. And we make breadfruit which makes con. Con, yeah.
In 1985, the Compact of Free Association, or Kofa, was established to allow those from Micronesia and the Marshall Islands to receive benefits, work, and live within the U.S. Through this agreement, Micronesians and Marshallese account for 1.3% of Hawaii's population.
I actually came with a coworker of my dad's, so they just paid for my ticket and they needed to find a chaperone for me. And my dad's coworker was on the same plane as me, so they decided to let me go with her. I just remember seeing sorry. I remember seeing my mom the last time at the airport, and she would tell me that I'm doing this for myself and I need to come out here for a better education, and that I would have to do good in school to make them proud.
For Leninza, life in Hawaii is very different from Chuuk.
Back home, we have a pretty small hospital. We have different islands around our main island, so it's very different because a lot of us travel on boats to get from one island to another. Around 2020 to 2023, they finally put electricity on the island that I'm from. So now we have access to electricity on some of the outer islands.
So you see how in the mango trees, right, there's tons of mango. So back in Chuuk, any tree you see fruits, you can just go pick it. Actually, you see a bike in front of a house, you can just take it and ride it. But when you come to United States, you kind of cannot do that. So sometimes Micronesian children get yelled at and they see them as a thief without understanding their background. And I think that is something we try to work on, teaching both sides, teaching our community where they come from, but also teaching our kids when you move to a new place, you kind of need to respect new thinking, new culture. Yeah. So at the same time when we had the VBS that so many kids from neighborhood came, the older Micronesians kids also joined a lot of gangs. There's a car park in our church and they just graffiti the whole truck. We went inside the truck, trashed the whole thing. I go to the park and I find them and I listen to their story. Just within 5 minutes, a girl already said that she got raped by her own father. They all have story that nobody willing to listen. That's why they were doing all this. Immediately, our church sent them to camp, have Bible study with them. That day when we go to camp, the kids came to church and they actually see the owners of the truck cleaning the truck, and they volunteered to go talk to the owner saying, I'm sorry, we are the one who trashed your truck. And the owner saying, you know what, you're forgiven. That is what church is for, is to bring healings to the communities, is to offer second chance for people, is to show what is the love of Christ, for real.
And then say 1, 2, monkey!
For the Chuukese culture, it's very common that many kids do not go to school. And they have so much trouble later to adjust to the school life because they've never been to school, even they're 8 years old. So I started pandemic, I go to their house and teach them preschool. So that was one of ministry that we found out that successfully helped the kids because they have some school experience when they go to first grade. Last year, we started an after-school program, which is so important because if we do not have that, they will be hanging out on the streets. It's so easy, they will just be recruited by the wrong people. So we provide a safe place for them. But more importantly, we bring in Christian teachers from the community so that they can see options. Wow, the world can be bigger. Like I can be a break dancer, I can be a chef, I can be martial arts. There's so much options in life that they can open up for their life. So that's our goal, is to expand their worldview.
When I started school here, I've always dreamt to be a doctor. They would say like, "Oh, you wouldn't make it into med school. Like you're a Micronesian." Since the COVID hit, I did lose a lot of hope in like terms of education. I thought that I wouldn't make it through my high school years, but Miss Karis was the one that would always be with us on Zoom call, telling us that we should always pray and we should always have faith. I wanted to be a person in my community, in my Chuukese community, to represent like that I am a Micronesian, I am a Chuukese person, and I am able to do this. So I decided to challenge myself to become a nursing student, and I still have more plans to go, but I hope it turns out well in the future.
I really think that kid that when I was a kid that I wanted to be a missionary, like what I'm doing now is really what I wanted to do when I was a kid. I'm really thankful that the Chuukese community, the Micronesians family, like they welcome me, they let me into their circle, and they trust their kids. I think that was just so honoring. When I was small, I really never have a family. Like I was really alone all the time, but now I have like a big family. It's very like a really good healing journey for me too.
I go meet